Today we're going to do 11 updates / corrections regarding the Holly Ellsworth-Clark case review. So I'm going to go about this in the order of which I told the case review in my original video. So if you haven't watched that video, I will link it in the description box below. If you're familiar with the Holly Clark case already, then you'll know where these points fit into the case review. Number 1, for Christmas, Holly went to Montreal, and then afterwards she spent some time with her brother and sister in Toronto. So in my first video, I mentioned that she visited her family for Christmas, so that wasn't her parents in Calgary, shortly after she visited her brother and sister in Toronto. Number 2, Holly thought there were multiple musicians living in her most recent rental space before she rented the apartment, but this actually wasn't the case. There was only one musician out of the 6 roommates that she had in this house. So the rest of her roommates had different jobs and worked different times of the day and night. So she actually found it quite challenging to find time for her to practice her music. She did have the 3rd floor to herself, and the space was described as being opened and bright, her living area. Number 3, there was a lot of speculation regarding the window being broken in the apartment. In my original video, I did say that I felt maybe she broke in because it could have happened at the same time that she was being chased by those 2 men, and she broke in because she needed access quickly, and she might not have wanted those men to see her enter her home and see where she lived. So there could be some truth to that. So she broke the window of the apartment. That has been confirmed. She didn't have her keys and she didn't have her cell phone with her, and she felt she needed to get into the house quickly. It was shortly after she broke this window that her roommates called 911 to have the police check on her. And this window was actually one of the front windows, so one of the windows of the living area, the living room. This was on the same morning that she felt she had been chased. So this is why she needed to get in quickly. But basically the reason is she couldn't get in any other way. It was known between the roommates that they wouldn't answer the door if someone had knocked. So no one would come to the door to let her in if she was knocking. Number 4, both of Holly's parents spoke with her on the phone on January 11th before she went missing. So in my original video, I mentioned that her father had spoken to her, which is true, but she also spoke to her mother that day as well. 5, on the January 11th video footage, Holly was carrying a garbage bag over her shoulder. So she had one that she was wearing as a poncho and then another that was over her shoulder. So the one that was over her shoulder was actually missing from video footage that was recorded the same day but later that day. So this bag actually disappeared. We're not sure where she dropped it off or what happened to that bag, but it wasn't with her the whole time. Number 6, Holly didn't have paying gigs in Hamilton. She was too new to the city, so she only performed at open mics. And the news reports did say that she had some cash on her, so we weren't sure how much that was, if it was a large amount of cash. It was actually just $45, so it's unlikely that she had more money than the $45. Number 7, the last video footage, confirmed video footage of Holly, was close to Wentworth Metal Recycling on Wentworth Street North, about 5 blocks further from Shaw Street and Wentworth North. It's still in the same direction of the location that I posted in the first video. It's just further north. So I'll show a couple of Google images here. So at the bottom here, you can see Wentworth Street North and Shaw Street. But if you go up a few blocks, you'll see Wentworth Metal Recycling. And then just above this red cursor, you'll see 2 thin lines here, which are train tracks. And Holly crossing over these train tracks is the last video footage, confirmed video footage of Holly. And then just to zoom out a little bit, you can see she's still going in the exact same direction that we originally thought. She's still heading north. Number 8, the budget inn was searched, but not every single room in the inn was searched. 9, Holly didn't experience mental health issues in her life until about a year before she went missing. At this time, while living in Toronto, she had what was thought to be a panic attack, which caused paranoia and delusions. And this is something that can occur with extreme panic attacks. She went to Calgary and stayed with her parents until she felt better. She didn't experience this again. Holly's family was concerned about Holly's mental health prior to her disappearance. She was recently upset about a failure of a romantic interest that she had, about her music and no longer having a band. Her family felt like not having a band did cause stress in Holly's life. At first, her father did think she seemed a bit paranoid about the chase with the 2 men, but once he got to the neighborhood in Hamilton where she lived, he changed his mind about this and thought that it was a possibility that did actually occur to Holly. Her family does not believe Holly would take her own life, even if she was experiencing these symptoms. So that is one of the theories that has been going around, and her family truly doesn't believe she would have taken her own life. 10 articles mention that Holly was emotional and acting differently leading up to her disappearance. Holly's family thought she may have been paranoid and delusional shortly before she went missing, and they were worried about her, but they weren't 100% sure. One of her siblings had done a welfare check on her, so they called the police to do a welfare check, and the police felt that Holly wasn't a danger to herself or to other people. Number 11, Holly has never left for an extended period of time without telling her family where she was going. I did want to briefly bring up the mental health issues, which I have done here. My reason being is because I really didn't see where that thought process was coming from. I agreed it was a probable theory, but I didn't really understand why it seemed like the front runner of the theories that were out there. But it does make sense that this might be a contributing factor. I don't think we should have tunnel vision and say 100% that that's what happened. We really don't know. But it could definitely be a contributing factor on why she decided to leave. If she was being paranoid, if she was having delusions and didn't think she was safe, she may have left that environment for her own safety. The second and third probable causes for missing persons cases in Canada is wandering away and running away. And I think that's why many of us lean towards Holly leaving on her own accord. I still truly hope that that's what happened. We are past 6 months, I believe, at this point of her being missing. As time passes, of course, we're going to be more concerned. Holly, if you happen to see this video, if you are okay, please reach out to your family and let them know. There's so much information that Holly Clark's family and friends have shared in Facebook Lives on the Holly Clark search page on Facebook. So I'll link those below. If you know anything about Holly's disappearance, or if you see Holly, please use the contact information in the description box below. I hope this video helps give you some more accurate information and helped you learn a little bit more about the case. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and be kind to each other.